the real big story of yesterday, because a lot of what I've done on this show is sort of showing you, of course, how the media is always running cover for the bad guys and they're throwing the good guys under the bus. Well, the big story yesterday was that Julian Assange has now been freed. We've got some info here from Chief Nerd on Twitter. First, the NBC headline. Julian Assange has reached a plea deal with the US, allowing him to go free. The WikiLeaks founder has been held in a prison outside London for the last 5 years and fought extradition to the United States. And then the quote from the article itself, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange plans to plead guilty as part of a plea deal with the US Justice Department that will allow him to go free after spending 5 years in a British prison, according to court documents. Court documents revealing Assange's plea deal were filed Monday evening in the U.S. District Court for the Northern Mariana Islands, a U.S. territory in the Pacific Ocean. Assange was expected to make an appearance in that court to be sentenced to 62 months with credit for time served in British prison, meaning he would be free to return to Australia, where he was born. Now, obviously, this is sort of breaking right now, so there's a lot of questions here. Why is the United States suddenly freeing him? What is the plan? Like, this has something to do with the presidential election. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. Like, what is the angle here? The administration is suddenly like, oh, we need to get the lefties happy with us again because they're not happy with us over Gaza, so we're going to free Assange. I don't know what it is. But here's a quick video, just 7 seconds or so, of Assange actually getting on a jet after being let out of prison. Okay, now Assange, we can talk about this much more in future shows. He did leak state secrets, so there is some issue there, right? Like, we can all talk about the legality of this and whether he was doing the right thing or the wrong thing. I think as a journalist, he has every right to do that. The people who helped him on the inside, it's a different issue, right? But here, when people talk about what really this is all about, this video was making the rounds as to really why have they been going after Julian Assange for so long. I think this probably gets to the heart of it.
Because the goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan, and back into the hands of transnational security. That is the goal, i.e. the goal is to have an endless war, not a successful war.
Nearly every war that has started in the past 50 years has been a result of media lies. The media could have stopped it if they had searched deep enough. If they hadn't reprinted government propaganda, they could have stopped it. But what does that mean? Well, that means basically populations don't like wars. And populations have to be fooled into wars. Populations don't willingly and with open eyes go into a war. So if we have a good media environment, then we'll also have a peaceful environment.
All right, so clearly we don't have a good media environment, but this idea of perpetual wars, remember, we wrapped up the Afghanistan war very sloppily, and then the Ukraine war magically appeared just like that. I think you could even make some argument that this is what the United States is now doing with Israel. We are not allowing them to win the war effectively so that we can keep them in perpetual war because they have to buy all of their weapons from us. Hey, don't click away just yet, because today's video is brought to you by our friends at 1775 Coffee. Guys, instead of waking up tomorrow morning and drinking your mold-infested, big corporation-owned, woke ideology coffee that's probably making you sick from the pesticides it's sprayed with, try Rumble's 1775 Coffee. Support freedom of speech and build a parallel economy that actually values you. Go to 1775 Coffee right now and pick up your first bag. Use code Rubin to save 10% off your first order.